95% of men are making a deadly mistake in how they talk to women. And the other 5%, they're the ones women can't stop thinking about. They're the ones she texts her friends about after the first date. The ones who turn a simple conversation into a memory she'll never forget. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly what they do differently. Not just the what, but the why, how it works on a biological level in her brain, and how to apply it naturally without a script. But here's a warning. If you're still asking things like, how was your day, or what do you do for work, and wondering why she feels no chemistry, then this video might completely change how you connect with women. I'm your host, and in the next 10 minutes, you'll learn 3 psychological techniques that I call the emotional manipulation Trinity, not in a bad way, but in a way that guides the conversation into a space where attraction naturally grows. The third technique is the line between being the guy she met and the guy she can't forget. Hit subscribe right now, because what I'm about to share is distilled from communication psychology and social neuroscience. All right, let's begin. Part 1, onion layer questions. Most men think attraction comes from impressing her. They talk about degrees, their high-paying job, the luxury trip they just took, and while they're talking, nothing is happening in her brain. No dopamine, no oxytocin, just cortisol, the hormone of stress and boredom. Here's what most men don't understand. Attraction doesn't come from what you prove to her about yourself. It comes from the feelings you create in her brain. And the fastest way to trigger dopamine, the hormone of desire and excitement, ask her about herself, but not surface-level questions. I call these onion layer questions. Just like peeling an onion, each layer goes deeper, closer to who she really is. Listen to this contrast. 95% of men ask, what do you do for work? Her brain. Routine response, no emotion, just data. 5% of men ask, what part of your work makes you feel alive, not just existing? Her brain, dopamine spike. She has to reflect, she has to feel, she has to connect with meaning. See the difference? While 95% of men are turning the date into a high-pressure job interview, you're turning it into a journey into her inner world. And here's the magic. When she answers those deep questions, her brain isn't just processing information. It's creating an emotional experience. And every emotional experience is tied to a context, you. That's why she'll remember you every time she thinks about her answer. Here's the onion peeling formula, 3 specific layers. Layer 1, surface. What do you like to do? Layer 2, meaning if money were no issue, what would make you want to wake up at 5 a.m. without an alarm? The phrase, wake up at 5 a.m. creates an image of real passion. Nobody wakes up that early for something they have to do. They do it for something they crave. Layer 3, identity. What's something people usually misunderstand about you when they first meet you? This is the gem. This question lets her redefine herself. It opens the door for her to share a deeper layer she usually hides. And when she answers this, her brain releases both dopamine, excitement, and oxytocin, connection. She unconsciously associates that feeling of being understood with you. That's how attraction is created on a biological level. One more example. Instead of asking, what are your hobbies? Ask, when you feel truly free, no judgment, no pressure, what do you usually do? The word free activates imagination. The phrase no judgment creates emotional safety. She'll go way deeper than with a basic question. Important note when applying this. Don't rapid fire 5 deep questions in a row. That turns the conversation into a therapy session. Balance it. 1 deep question. Let her lead a bit, then drop another. This rhythm creates the right balance between depth and comfort. Part 2, the emotional mirror. The second thing the 5% of men understand is women don't open their bodies where they can't open their hearts. This isn't an opinion. This is neuroscience. When a woman feels emotionally unsafe, her sympathetic nervous system activates, cortisol spikes, and sexual desire, gone. But when she feels safe, her parasympathetic system kicks in. Oxytocin is released. Her body naturally wants to come closer. So how do you create emotional safety? I have a technique called the emotional mirror. And here's the cool part. It works because it tricks her brain into thinking you've known her forever. When you reflect her emotions accurately, her brain says, this person really gets me. He must be familiar. This is why so many women say, I feel like I've known him forever. after just a few hours of talking. It's not magic, it's psychology. Here's how the emotional mirror works. When she shares a story, don't just nod and change the topic. Don't rush to share your similar experience. Instead, mirror her emotion in your words. Here's the contrast. 95% of men. Her, I quit my stable job to chase my passion. My family was really against it. Him, wow, that's tough. So what happened next? She feels he wants to move on. He's not really interested. 5% of men. Her, I quit my stable job to chase my passion. My family was really against it. Him, sounds like you felt pretty alone, but also incredibly brave. Did it feel like trading safety for freedom? She feels he sees me. He understands what I didn't even say. Oxytocin spikes. See the magic? You're not just listening to words. You're feeling the emotion behind the words. And when you reflect that emotion back, she knows she's in a safe emotional space. Here's the emotional mirror formula in 5 steps. Listen to her story. Don't interrupt. Identify the core emotion: lonely, afraid, excited, proud, confused. Pause for 2 to 3 seconds. Let it sink in. Reflect. Sounds like you felt. Ask a deeper question to let her explore further. Another real example. Her. I just got promoted, but I don't know why I'm not that happy about it. 95% of men, you got promoted and you're not happy. Why? You should be. This denies her feelings. Oxytocin drops. 5% of men, sounds like part of you is wondering if this is really the path you want to be on. Am I right? Perfectly reflected. She feels deeply understood. Extremely important note, do not try to fix her problem. Men are wired to solve. She shares a problem. You want to offer a solution, but she doesn't need a solution right now. She needs to feel heard. She needs to know her emotions are valid. Instead of saying, you should do this, say, that sounds really tough. How do you feel about it now? This tiny shift makes a huge impact because it shows she doesn't need to be perfect around you. You accept her, even the messy, contradictory parts. And that's where desire begins. When a woman feels like she can be fully herself, no hiding, no pretending, that's when the walls come down. Part 3, the pregnant pause. The third technique, and this one is the game changer, is understanding the difference between need and desire. Need pushes women away, desire draws them in. Here's the biological truth. When you lack self-respect, you give off desperation. Women can sense this on a subconscious level. Her primal brain says, this man is low value, avoid. But when you show presence, when you're grounded and comfortable in your own skin, her brain says, this man is high value. I want to be near him. I call this the reward principle. Your presence is a reward, not something free and always available. And here's the most powerful technique I'll teach you today, the pregnant pause after she answers a deep question. Don't rush to respond. Hold silence, look into her eyes, smile gently, not a big grin, just a knowing smile, and wait 3 to 5 seconds. But here's where 95% of men mess this up. When you pause 3 to 5 seconds, relax your shoulders and keep calm eye contact. If you fidget, if you look away, if you get nervous, the silence becomes awkward instead of attractive. Here's the right body language for the pregnant pause. Shoulders, relaxed, not tense. Eyes, calm eye contact, not staring intensely. Smile, gentle, one side of your mouth slightly up. Breathing slow and deep from your stomach. Posture, upright but relaxed, not stiff. You're sending the message, I'm comfortable with silence. I'm not afraid of emotional space. I'm here, fully present. Why is this so powerful? Because 95% of men fear silence. They rush to fill the gap. They panic that silence means awkwardness. But here's the secret. Sexual tension is built in the space between words. In that silence, she feels your full attention. She sees you're not afraid of emotions. Her dopamine spikes from that uncertain thrill, and she wonders, what is he thinking about me? That's when you live in her mind. A real example. Her, I've always felt different, like I don't fit into the mold. 95% of men, oh, me too. I've always felt you just broke the moment. You pulled attention back to yourself. 5% of men, 4 seconds of silence, calm eye contact, relaxed shoulders, gentle smile, deep breath. You know, the way you say that. I can feel the strength in your difference. And that is attractive. 2 more seconds of silence. Boom. She melts. Putting it all together, the complete formula. Let me show you how all 3 techniques work in a real situation. Context. You're at a coffee shop with her. The conversation is fine, but still surface level. She just talked about her stable job, but it doesn't sound like passion. Step 1. Onion layer question. I'm curious. When you feel truly free, no judgment, what do you usually do? Step 2. She replies, I like driving late at night, blasting music, just driving with no destination. Step 3. The pregnant pause. You stay silent for 4 seconds. Relaxed shoulders, eye contact, gentle smile, deep breath. In those 4 seconds, she's waiting. Dopamine in her brain spikes. She wonders, what is he thinking? Step 4. The emotional mirror. Sounds like you really cherish those moments where you don't have to be someone, just you. Like when you're driving at night, you escape all expectations. Is that right? Step 5. She's surprised. Eyes light up. Wow. No one's ever said it like that. But yes, sometimes I feel like I'm living the life others expect, not the one I want. Step 6. Reward principle. You don't speak right away. Just smile, take a sip of coffee, let her sit in that moment. 5 seconds go by. You're not performing. You're genuinely processing her words. Step 7. After 7 seconds, you continue. I like where this conversation is going. It feels real. And it says a lot about you that you can see the difference between living and existing. 2 more seconds of silence. So if you could redesign your life with no limits, what would it look like? See what happened? The 3 techniques flow together like a symphony. Onion layer question triggers dopamine emotional mirror, releases oxytocin, creates he understands me, feeling pregnant pause, builds tension, shows value. The result? She goes home and thinks, why did I feel so different around him? She texts her friends, I just met someone and he's not like the others. That's the mark of real attraction. Not because you're the best looking, not because you're the richest, but because you made her feel seen, understood, and valued on a level most men never reach. If this video opened your eyes to a new way of thinking about attraction, I want to invite you to do 2 things. First, hit subscribe now, because in the next video, I'll reveal 3 body language signals women give when they want you to make the next move, and 95% of men completely miss them. They think she's not ready, when in reality, she's waiting for you to lead. I'll show you how to read these signs clearly, so you never miss the window of opportunity again. Second, leave a comment and share. What's one onion layer question you're going to try in your next conversation? Or share your experience if you've used any of these techniques before. I read every comment and reply personally. And remember, attraction doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being curious enough to explore her inner world, confident enough to create emotional safety, and self-respecting enough to know your presence is a reward. When you combine all 3, you're not just some guy. You become the man she'll never forget. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.